Time now for us to take a look at the international newspapers. Diptyque Laurent has been scouring them for us. Diptyque, let's start with reactions to Brazil's National Museum going up in flames.
That's right, it's on the front page of the Financial Times. Today, historic Brazil Museum goes up in flames, with accompanied by quite a striking picture, one of many from that very shocking fire. Millions of priceless treasures have perished, and for one Brazilian daily, O Globo, it's comparable to a, quote, national suicide. I quote, a country dies when its own history is destroyed. That's what the paper says in this article here. 10 of those valuable treasures have been documented by the same paper, O Globo. We're talking about things like a prehistoric giant, the largest dinosaur ever assembled in Brazil. We're talking about mummies of pre-Columbian American people, Egyptian artifacts, Egyptian mummies. The museum housed actually the largest collection of Egyptian culture in Latin America. And as you see here, the Luzia skull, that's a skeleton of Brazil's oldest human, dating back to many thousands, well, several thousands of years, all gone.
Yeah, priceless and irreplaceable artifacts that you just can't put them back. But there's been a lot of focus on the causes behind this fire. Nobody knows exactly what started it, but a lot of people are saying, well, it was a lack of funds that had led to the disrepair, general disrepair in the building. That's
right. For many Brazilians, this fire is symptomatic of the collapse of the Brazilian state, in particular austerity measures. In fact, Libération, the French newspaper, calls it pyromaniac austerity. The budget cuts meant that ensuring the upkeep and security of the museum was not possible. The museum had actually already closed under previous President Dilma Rousseff, but because it couldn't afford to pay its staff back then, and since then it's been crippled by these austerity measures under Michel Temer. For Slate, it's not just the library, but Brazil's past that went up in flames. The website explains that austerity has also severely restricted hospitals, universities, much of the public sector. In the case of the museum, it badly needed a major renovation that would have been estimated at about $70 million. And for one presidential candidate, Marina Silva, it's a lobotomy of Brazil's memory.
Okay, well, let's move back to things here in France, Diptyque, and the President Emmanuel Macron is expected to name his new environment minister, prompted also to call to step up his fight against climate change. There's even a letter been sent to Le Monde newspaper by around 200 artists, not just from France, but around the world.
That's right. Over 200 personalities have penned this front page article here, a column calling the fight against climate change the greatest challenge in the history of humanity. It's a question of survival now, they warn. At the pace we're going, there's going to be nothing left of Earth in decades to come. Yet, it's still not too late. There are things we can do. There are measures that can be taken, and that begins with taking very strong political stances that could be potentially unpopular, but that are crucial to saving the environment. And of course, those decisions do affect, and global warming affects the way we live, the way we work, the way we eat in particular. It's all part of our lifestyle. The Guardian, in fact, is talking about a very worrying trend in the UK today. Around 2 million people took part in an online heart age test to test the age of your heart. And researchers found that 4 out of 5 adults have hearts that are damaged beyond their age, blaming a lack of activity, obesity, smoking, over-drinking. Of those taking part in the survey, 1/3, for instance, have a heart that's 5 years older than the actual age.
And 4 out of 5 have done damage to their heart. That's quite a staggering figure. Well, let's cross over, though, to the United States, Diptyque, and the New Yorker Festival has pulled a special guest after a Twitter backlash.
That's right. The annual New Yorker Festival takes place next month, and former Donald Trump aide Steve Bannon was supposed to be interviewed by David Remnick, the New Yorker's editor. Then came the backlash, starting with the New Yorker's staff team themselves. They accused Remnick of giving a voice to Bannon's racist and white nationalist views. That's according to the Huffington Post. And then what happened was high-profile speakers like Judd Apatow and Jim Carrey threatened to boycott the festival, prompting Remnick to go back on his decision. Bannon, for his part, has called him gutless, accusing him of bowing down to the, quote, howling online masses.
Meanwhile, Diptika, I did scan a headline that got my attention, and it said that the Russian President, Vladimir Putin, is the star of his own reality TV show.
A bizarre TV show at that, but yes, according to the British tabloid Daily Star, the hour-long Putin admiration show debuted on Sunday on the state-run channel Russia 1. The president is depicted as loving children and people in general. It praises his reforms, despite the fact that thousands of people took to the streets to protest his pension reforms just hours before the TV show aired. It also shows him in the wild, as we know he loves nature, with one of the Kremlin spokesman saying that even the bears in Siberia are afraid of Vladimir Putin.
Okay, interesting one. But finally, Diptika, in China, a school has come under fire for a scandalous back-to-school performance for kindergarten children.
That's right. In fact, I think it was for many of those kids, it was their first day at school. This school in the city of Shenzhen thought it would be a great idea to have a scantily clad pole dancer perform for kindergarten kids on their first day of school or day back at school. Kids aged 3 to 6 in their brand new uniforms, as you see here, were witness to a woman grinding on a pole in front of them, teachers and their horrified parents. The school's headmaster said it's an international sport and good for your health, so why not? She's since been fired. The schools apologized, but not before a video of the woman dancing in front of the kids lit up social media.
Okay, it's definitely an original welcome to the school idea. Diptika Laurent, thanks a lot.